Hi, this is Alan Johnson, and today I'm going to share with you my report on two artifacts from the Gilat site. The artifacts in question are a woman with churn and ram carrying comets. They're both found at the Gilat site, which is northwest of Beersheba, Israel, on the edge of the northern Negev desert. Uh, I chose it because I found the artifacts interesting when I saw the pictures of them. And as I found out, doing a little more research, they may have some indices for a lot more than just being artifacts, and that they may show, at least according to one prominent archaeologist, a link to an earlier date of the beginning of monotheism than the accepted time period of the second millennium before the birth of Christ. The Galat site is a low mound settlement in what is primarily now a farming area. It was found to be the Chalcolithic period, and which is likely to have been a cultic and trade center, according to the archaeological experts that I used as resources. The period in question is roughly 4500 to 3500 BC. The artifacts focused on here are both ceramic, and I will share a screen to show you, first of all, where the location is that these were found. You can see this is where Gilat is located. It's not too far from Beersheba. It's not too far from the coast, and it's south of Jerusalem at the edge of the desert. The first artifact that I'm going to share is Woman with a Churn. It is 35 centimeters tall. And let me share with you a picture of that. It's quite interesting chair. And it is, as you see, a woman seated on some sort of a stool. It still contains the markings, the lines. Doesn't appear to be clothed, and she's carrying a churn on her head. She has a prominent nose. I cannot see a mouth, and the eyes are round, obviously. I'm not sure what that is she's carrying under her left arm, but that is the woman with the churn. As I said, that is 31 centimeters tall. And I will now switch over to the second artifact and share with you a picture of that one. That's equally interesting in a different way. It is called the ram carrying comets. It is 23 centimeters tall. This site was initially identified by David Alon, and it was in the 1950s, but it was not excavated until under the authority of the Israel Department of Antiquities from 1975 to 1977. There were 3 additional seasons of excavation at this site by the Nelson Gluck School of Biblical Archaeology in 1989, 1990, 1991. Both of these artifacts are now in the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. So there was a significant development they were found at stratum 3. There was significant development at stratum 2. There's a significant development at stratum 3, but very little before that. The stratum 2 level includes a large courtyard with a standing stone, several buildings, basins, and silos. From the site dating to the late 5th to the early 4th millennia indicate it was a regional cultic center. That means that it was some sort of cult, some sort of religious center, by the fact that there was a cultic temple of some sort there, but also because they found 60 violin-shaped stone figures in the site, including the woman in the ram, as we just mentioned, according to the Nelson Gluck Biblical School of Archaeology. Both of the figures are hollow, which means they may have had some sort of ceremonial purpose in terms of a liquid or a fluid or something like that. There is mixed opinion about what the meaning of these two symbols are, and specifically their connection to the Old Testament. The jury is still out on that, but there may be, and again, I stress maybe, a direct correlation between Old Testament studies and the artifacts. David Alon is who I've mentioned, was the prime archaeologist and excavator at this site, argued that it was developed around a temple existing about 6,000 years ago that was a cultic center. He argued this in an article that appeared in a magazine. And Alon concluded the figurines were discovered at Gilat may represent, quote, the earliest expression of monotheism anywhere, predating by 2,000 years or so the birth of Christ. Further, Alon states, quote, he links the era of Abraham, the Hebrew patriarch, and the first man to recognize one God. This was in the Christian Science Monitor, December 20th, 1988. Not everyone agrees with Alon's theory of the Gilat pointer to monotheism, but it is a thought-provoking potential connection to that book of Genesis that says Abraham and his family settled in several places, including Beersheba, which is only about 20 kilometers away from Gilat. So all in all, two interesting pieces with a bit of a, I won't say controversial, but at this point, a conflicted nature as to what they were, but they certainly represent something in terms of architectural findings, artifact findings that tell us something about what was there at this site a very long time ago. Thanks for attention, and I appreciate your listening to my presentation.